Hey guys, this is Jen and Corey,
Hey everyone.
and we are with Dr. Marketing Tips, and we are here today doing the second of a 4-part series discussing how to maintain a personal touch in today's electronic age. And today we'll be focusing on how to maintain a personal touch using your social media.
Everybody's favorite.
So just a little background on the importance of social media, as if you need a refresher. But 61% of marketers see lead generation benefits with social media, and 100% higher lead to close ratio than traditional media, meaning it's more effective to drive customers to your business. I was actually having a conversation with a practice manager this morning, and she said, I don't see a lot of referrals or direct leads from social media, Facebook, to my practice. And we got to talking, and we were talking about, just the pure sole benefit of people using Facebook to get referrals from their trusted friends. And when you're choosing a doctor, the first thing you're going to do is go onto Facebook at this point and ask, who knows who the best pediatrician is? Does anyone have a pediatric otolaryngologist? I can never say that one.
Otolaryngologist.
Otolaryngologist. I saw that on Facebook recently. I saw one, the other day of somebody that was in the Tri Club asking, they had a knee that was damaged, and they said, my knee's been bothering me. I need an orthopedic doctor. Who would you suggest? And there were like 80 comments. That's what we mean by marketers see it as a lead generation, and the lead to close ratio is so much higher than traditional media. The benefits of social media reported by marketing professionals, these are the people that are supposed to know what they're talking about. It's pretty much what you expected. Exposure is increased, your traffic on your website's increased, you generate more leads, you develop these raging fans, you improve your search ranking. Social media has so many benefits if you know how to use it properly.
Yeah, and so what we're going to talk about today is a couple ways to help you use it properly to get that exposure and increase that traffic and build those fans. So let's get started here. So to maintain a personal touch, one of the best things that you can do is use photos. And we know photos work because this statistic tells us that they do. Photos on Facebook pages receive 53% more likes than the average post. That's your general text post and things like that. And yeah, like Jen mentioned, it's 100% higher lead to close ratio than traditional media. One of the great things about photos, I'll say, is that they work so well, not only from an engagement standpoint, but from a sharing standpoint as well. People will like and comment on the photos and what have you, but oftentimes, especially if they're in the photos, they'll share those with friends and family, and they become so viral and so powerful so quickly. And, we'll see photos get posted and then kind of keep living for over a week or more, depending on what the content is.
So one way that we really see some engagement and getting that personal touch going when it comes to our social media is to create contests. This is just one example. I think this was it for Valentine's Day? Maybe
Yep,
it looks
Valentine's
like.
Day. Yep.
So we have a practice that we work with. It's a larger practice. They have 6 locations, and oftentimes we will encourage them to get their departments together, and they put together a little contest, and management might give them a prize. Maybe it's just for bragging rights, but we'll go around on that particular holiday and we'll get photos of each department. And sometimes they'll have fun with their photos. Sometimes they're more serious. And we'll put them on Facebook and we'll tell people to vote on their favorite photo. And they go crazy wild and they go viral and it gets all kinds of interaction on social media. And at the same time, we're building relationships with those potential customers.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's also an awesome team building activity because the department gets together. We've seen some where, some of the more tech savvy folks in the department, they'll do some Photoshop. We just did one for St. Patrick's Day a couple weeks ago, and they had little leprechauns popping up behind them. Somebody was in a pot of gold, and they really get behind it and they have a lot of fun with it. And it's a win-win, not only from a fan and patient standpoint, but the teams at the practice really kind of get behind that too. So another thing that you can do is to grab a photo of your doctors or your doctors with patients. Those do incredibly well. And on top of that, what we see sometimes, it's silly because it's just, them standing there and, they pose real quick and it takes take a photo. But patients love them. And I actually saw an example, I want to say it was yesterday, where someone posted, "Oh, I love Dr. Jones. He's the best." And someone right under that said, oh, that reminds me, I need to make my follow-up appointment. So not only are you getting out there and kind of, sharing this photo, but you're also encouraging patients to go ahead and make that appointment. It's like that little nudge, that little reminder if they see that pop up on their feed.
Another way to get people really engaged on social media is to empower your employees. This is a group we've done some work with, and we only get over to their office maybe once every couple months. We're interacting with them constantly through email and telephone and maybe even text messages, but they've been great because they've empowered their employees to go to their patients and encourage them to get photos with them. And they go out there, their rehab center, and they get out there with their patients after they're happy. They get a photo release, they take some photos and they put them directly, they send them to us and we get them up on Facebook. And it's been really successful in encouraging page likes, getting interaction on social media, and even helping to boost their online appointment request.
Yeah, we see so many times that practices have this kind of negative perception of social media, that it's taboo, and employees can't be on it, and they're locked out from their computers, and they have to like hide on their phones under their desks to get to Facebook. And the fact is, they're going to Facebook anyway.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're going to find a way to get there, to check their Twitter feed or what have you. So, if you can kind of select a couple that, really know what they're doing and that are personable and that can get out there and get some of these photos, you can see results instantly.
Yeah, choose an ambassador. This is one we love. This is a doctor we do some work with. It's Dr. Patel. He's an ophthalmologist. And, if you want to, really make it personal when it comes to social media, empower your physicians. Sometimes physicians, they have a lot on their plate. But Dr. Patel is great because he was an early adopter. He's younger. He, just opened his practice a couple of years ago. And this is one that he took a photo and I think he put it on Twitter. Is that right?
Facebook.
All right, put it on Facebook.
And Twitter. You're right. He did both.
Yeah, he does them both. He's really interactive, and this is a selfie. He says, the only thing I'd rather do at 4 a.m. other than sleep is to save an eye. And this was great. It goes viral. It shows up in his social media, and it instantly created a personal relationship with anybody and everybody out there that wanted to see it.
All right. And what I always like to say is, when all else fails, find a cute kid. Because no matter what, everyone is going to like the crap out of that picture.
I mean, how could you not love this picture? Corey likes it, I like it, and it looks as if 76 other people liked it as well.
All right, so moving on. Another way to maintain a personal touch is not only with your photos, but also what you're doing with these photos and with these posts. And, odds are that you are at some point out in the community. So it's okay to talk about those things. It's okay to take a photo when you're at a health fair, or you're volunteering, or there's something going on for the holidays. You've got a box out in your office and you're collecting school supplies or something like that. Go ahead and take a photo and put that post up.
I tell people all the time when we're doing social media training, one-on-one in a practice, we say, look, if you don't take a photo, it did not happen.
Never happened.
Doesn't exist if you don't take a photo in today's day and age.
Yeah, and if you're going to be out there anyway, it just makes so much sense to take one of these photos and let your followers and your fans know what you're doing. Because you got to remember that the people that like your Facebook page or follow you on Twitter, well, they like you. So they want to know that you're out there doing this stuff. So don't be bashful about it.
No, not at all. Another thing that we've had great success with is share facts about your practice. Share the history. How did you guys get started? Were you the first to use computer-assisted navigation to perform sinus surgery in Orlando? Ear, nose, and throat of Orlando certainly was. You hire somebody new. I don't care if it's a front desk girl, if she's got a cheery personality. Because that's who they're going to see. Your patients are going to see when they walk in. Take a photo of her and let people know, what they can expect. Do some trivia based on the history of your practice. If people are having babies and you want to congratulate them and they're okay with it, congratulate them through social media. Congratulate people that have been at your practice for 10, 15, 20 years. That goes so far to telling your personal story, because it means that you're the kind of practice and, this is the kind of physician or physician group that people want to hang out with. They want to stick around because it's a family.
Yeah, I was actually walking by the front desk of a practice that we work with, and we had posted one of these photos of a new employee that started at the front. And I heard someone, it was a new patient that walked in, and he said, "Hey, I know you. I recognize you from Facebook." And it was just because we posted the picture there, and he happened to come in later that day and see her sitting there, and it instantly created that connection and that conversation that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
That's a great story. All right, you always can highlight your physicians, personal trivia about your physicians, education history, health tips, what makes your practice different. Things like this get good interaction, and it's always good because when you're on social media, when you're using, let's just use Facebook as the example. You're so busy, you don't want to just put pictures of your staff. You don't want to just put contests up there or just trivia. You want to once in a while, you want to highlight your physicians because it really is all about the physicians.
Star of the show, the rock
Star of
stars.
the show. And you want to always, intersperse a nice, you want to level out the playing field. So once a week, you want to drive them back to your practice. So if you're having fun and you're creating that personal connection, let's say you create that personal connection for 3 out of 5 posts, maybe on the 4th post, you can kind of do something a little self-serving, like reminding people that they can go online and schedule an appointment, or you can get them in same day, next day, or you offer some great surgery that nobody else offers. But, you can balance between that personal touch and that kind of having fun with the serious stuff. And you can get serious and have fun at the same time by highlighting your physicians.
Yeah, and people really get behind the physicians too, because if you, for instance, you're sharing a piece of personal trivia, like where they went to college or something like that. We see all the time that people will respond and say, go Gators, or Roll Tide, or wherever they went to school. And again, it just kind of creates that personal touch between the patients and potential patients and that physician. So another thing that you can do, obviously, is talk about your specialty. You can put up facts and interesting statistics. Maybe you can do some injury prevention tips, some treatment methods. Maybe there's some minimally invasive things that you're doing at your practice that are new or relatively new. And even if they're not new, don't just assume that everyone knows that you treat everything that you treat. If they only go there to see you for one particular ailment, they might not know that you have this whole other option waiting for them, and they might have gone to another office. So it's okay to tell them that every now and then. Like Jen said, if you're doing, if you're having fun and everything, eventually you can do something that's a little bit self-serving. You can intersperse those in there. So we always say that if you're doing study results and statistics and numbers, people kind of gravitate towards those. So those are some really good posts to put together, and super easy to do, because odds are you have all of those resources right at your fingertips right now.
Something else that you can do is you can share timely, interesting articles. The one on the right is one of my favorites because this is literally, they put these glasses on this man, and it's the first time he sees his wife in 10 years. And it's so apropos to this ophthalmologist, and he got a great response to it, and it's just good information, and it helps, honestly, it just helps fill the space. The toughest part I find about social media, yeah, it's tough being personal. It's tough coming up with new stuff all the time. And when you find relevant articles that are timely, it can help you kind of plug in those holes when you just don't have anything fresh to say.
Yes, you don't need to reinvent the wheel every single post. So this is nice because it relates to the practice, and kind of takes some of the weight off your shoulders, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, so next up, I want to talk about sharing patient testimonials. Now, odds are you've got some written testimonials somewhere buried on your desk or your website. And if you're really marketing correctly, you've also got some videos. So we always say to reuse this content instead of coming up with new stuff all the time. And the great thing about video is, so you get this video of a patient testimonial, where you can take a still of that and then turn it into a photo, which is what you see on the screen right now, posted on Facebook for a client that we work with. And then that photo, you can also transcribe the video, and then you've got a blog post for your website. You can drive people to the site from your social media once you have that up, and then you just start that whole process over again. So it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving.
So in the third part of our 4-part series, we're going to talk about how you can maintain a personal touch on your website. Who knew you could even maintain a personal touch on your website? But Corey and I are going to show you how.
With that said, we want to say thank you again for hanging out and sticking with us for part 2. Hope you come back for part 3, and we'll talk to you soon.